whatever we have got. Sunday afternoon and drama. Yeah. We'll wait for just a couple of. Yeah. Right now I feel like I'm in a drama triangle, to be honest. Yeah. Let's see. I was just telling before you guys turned up, Sunday afternoon and drama. So, so what comes to, before, just to set a context, I'm sure all of us have experienced drama in our life. Is there somebody who has not experienced drama in his life or her life? All right. Before we dive into what drama triangle is all about, just to give a brief about myself, I'm Lopa. Obviously Lopa Mudra Mishra, but I call myself Lopa for people to pronounce my name properly. And I'm an agile coach. And I have been, as change agents and as coaches, we are also doing some kind of self-learning, self-awareness for ourselves. And that's the reason why I picked up this topic, because it is close to my heart. And it's something I experience day in, day out, either as an individual or with people we interact with. So I'm going to make you work today, because I'm not going to talk anything. So before we start all about drama triangle and what it is all about, can I please request you to all stand up and just pair up with somebody you don't know and just discuss what comes to your mind when you hear the word drama. We'll just give 2 minutes, but just pair up with somebody you don't know. Please roam around. Okay. All right, time up. Please take your seat. Any pointers anybody wants to share? Anybody wants to share what comes to their mind when they hear the word drama? Movie, okay. Okay. Thrill. Natural. Okay, interesting. Okay.
Or sometimes getting your attention. Kids also.
Yeah, so you want to share positive, negative, both? Right. You would have heard, right? In our childhood, we used to always hear that princess stranded somewhere looking for the Prince Charming. And near our home, our grandparents trying to, find, create some instances where they want their family to give attention to them. Yes, we get to see drama in our day-to-day life, in all our interpersonal relationships. It's not just with individuals, like with your spouses or with your friends. You also see that with your team members. Everybody, whenever there is a conflict, you'll see drama. And it's a recurring pattern. Now, so what's drama triangle then? So Stephen Carman, he's the guy who developed or conceived the word drama triangle. As per him, so he said that anytime you come across any conflict in any relationship, by default, you will unconsciously play three roles. One is of a victim, one is a prosecutor or attacker, and third is a rescuer. So when you say a victim, how many times you would have seen that, oh, everybody are ganging up against me. And I am the poor me, and the whole world is just conspiring against me. So that's somebody who is in the victim role. When you're a prosecutor, it's like, I am right, but you are not right. That's the belief. Somebody, if you look at in a film, you have three roles, right? A hero, a villain, and a victim would somebody like, I would say the heroine. This is always in the victim mode, if I have to put it in a Hindi Bollywood. So prosecutor, you can think somebody like a villain. Rescuer is obviously the hero, trying to rescue the heroine from the villain, and always like, oh, I am there to help you out. And if we have to connect with ourselves, most of our agile coaches or coaches say that I am the rescuer for you guys. Does it resonate with you guys in any ways? Okay. Yeah, we all go through, and that's a valid point you brought in, Deepa, that we are always not in one role, we switch roles. A victim can become a prosecutor can become a rescuer, and it can happen in a conversation, and you would not know that you are moving between roles. So that's how it is. If drama is bringing excitement in our life, then why do we say that drama triangle is bad? Because you saw the three roles, and you saw the three, what they resonate, or the belief system. So do you think drama is good or bad? It's good? Yeah, okay. All right. So can we have a quick table discussion among yourselves? Like somebody said drama can be good, somebody said drama can be bad. So when it is a good and when it is bad, can we just have a quick discussion? And how do we know we are in a drama triangle? Maybe a quick discussion and then we'll take it from there. 1 minute. What makes a drama triangle bad? Yeah, discuss among yourself.
Pushing people, pushing stuff. And then someone says, "Oh, there was drama at work." I assume that there was something.
You were to say hashtag drama free. Are you following the clean people are into where else have a look?
I will definitely look into it.
Sorry. Seen that hashtag?
The drama free, yeah, okay. So is that, you follow that?
I don't pay it too close attention, but the clean language people are quite.
Yeah. Yes, that's the. Am I audible? Okay, audible. Okay. Can somebody wants to share some insights from table wise? We'll take this table. They are speaking. Yeah. You want to share some insights? Your table discussions with all of us.
Like we discussed what actually could be a drama, how it can go bad, and it depends upon the outcome of that situation, outcome of that, like whether it's bad or good.
Okay.
All of the three are win-win situation. It's good, and if all like victim is not happy, rescuer couldn't do perform his role, and the prosecutor wins, like then it's bad.
And how will we know that we are in a drama triangle?
If there is a conflict of opinions, we can say that you are in a situation getting.
Thanks, awesome. Any other pointers? I'll go to yeah.
So it's a positive drama when you think people seek your attention and they create a drama. I mean that's again goes to positive and negative. But I take it positive because at least they are doing something to gauge your attention. Sometimes it's give you motivation also. You know, some kind of drama creating. I mean, give people motivation. Negative is conflict, victimizing someone, blaming, plotting against. So these are the negative impact of drama. How do we know we are in drama triangle? So when there are lots of noises, when you start getting sarcastic mails, some some failures, anxiety. I think anxiety is a very big thing wherein you think you are in drama. Conflicts and some visual, you can seek out or observe that there is something, heat is in around the air, you know, something happening.
All right. Thanks a lot and good pointers. You wanted to say something, right?
So I think drama, it's all about the situation. Let me just start with the step-by-step approach. So and it all depends on, if you want to put things into perspective of a particular situation, you have to think in terms of the problem, not why the fault is there, but who's at fault, right? And the problem, to define the problem statement, the person who is basically bringing this to attention that, okay, this is the problem, of course, that is persecutor. And the other person who thinks, okay, now let us think about how to resolve the problem in terms of this triangle, right? Now, whether it is good or bad, of course, it is certainly good to basically put things into perspective about the situation. And it is bad if it is about conspiracy. So it is not about that, okay, you are conspiring to, basically beat something out of somebody, and that is why it is created. But if you really want to solve the situation, the problem, I think if everything is a smooth sail, if there is no drama about it, of course you cannot emphasize on anything in particular. So that is why it is important.
All right. Just to summarize, I think very good and pertinent points. Few things we have to understand, that when we are in a drama triangle, if it is unhealthy, it causes stress to us. And it also kind of, spoil the relationship we have with the other individual. And that in turn, physically and mentally kind of give us stress. And that's the reason why we need to get out of the drama triangle, because if we are always in the drama triangle, we'll always be thinking, oh, this person has victimized me, or I am like being bullied, for example, or as a prosecutor, I might be thinking that everybody else is wrong and I'm right. And as a rescuer, I will always try to jump in, and probably I don't have time for myself, because I will always be in a mood to help the whole world. So that's why we have to get rid of the drama triangle, and that's what Karpman talks about it. Yeah, you all know, right? All of us, while discussing that whenever we're in a conflict or whenever we're in a drama triangle, we always have our own favorite role, which we get into it, knowingly or unknowingly. I think you brought in a very nice point where you said that it is on the situation. When we're in a drama triangle, it all comes, the situations put us in that triangle. It is not that we are, and we play that role. We are not like that individually. It's just a role play, we get into that. So all of us have a default role where we get into when we're in a drama triangle. I'll just request all of you individually, don't have to share with anybody. just think through two situations, one in your personal life and one in your workplace. Any situation, maybe workplace, you can think you have a very grumpy boss, and married guys, you can think of your wife heckling you, nagging you, or your spouses or children nagging you. And just think through, self-reflect what role you get into when you are in a conflict with your boss or with your team member or with your spouse or anybody. If you can just reflect, you don't have to share with anybody, just reflect and get into your default role. No discussion, just self-reflect. And just think through, correlate, are you getting into the same role or are you getting into a different role? Nine. One. What again I want you guys to reflect, now that you have identified your default role, what is that feeling you get? What you feel, what you see, what you hear in that role? What are the words coming out? Don't have to share with anybody, just reflect and be among yourself, within you. The idea is more for us to be self-aware than to be like sharing with the individuals. That's why I'm just asking you guys to be. So take a couple of minutes to reflect. And if anybody wants to share, they can, but it's a personal. Thank you. Anybody wants to share, they can, if they want to. You want to share?
For my kid, and my husband is a rescuer. So she's giving her exams and I always on her top of her head just do something, So I'm feeling sad, I need not to create such a drama. And in office, I'm kind of rescuer. So it's not about the triangle, I'm saying, if there is a drama, then the stress is with all the team. I've seen in many retrospective, when people conflict, the whole team gets the stress. So it's a stress on rescuer more than I think the victim as well. When you have to talk about both the parties and come up some solution or ask them to. And when you see, they don't talk about it or they don't even smile at each other in the office regularly, that's a stress on rescuer as well. That though the conversation is completed there, but the loop is not closed yet.
All right. Okay. Anybody else wants to be brave and courageous to share their pointers? Because you want to say?
I can just say this, right? What you hear, see or feel is mostly different actually, right? Yeah. And sometimes in my personal thing, if I really wanted to make myself in a place which is like I'm a victim, I generally go with what I hear, right? Or what I think, something like that, feel. What I see is something which is true at times actually, right? And I avoid doing that.
All right.
Everyone, yes.
Thank you. Anybody else? So I think one point I want to put over here is that 95% of the people who have been interviewed, they always think that we are rescuer, and that's the statistics. Obviously, but the default role we always get into is victim, but somehow we end up being a rescuer at some point of time. So we have now known what is drama triangle, And we have also identified our default role we get into. And we also know what impact it has on us when we get into the role and how it impacts us personally. So do you guys think that we need to do something to get rid of the drama triangle? If that is so, can you guys please write down, take 1 minute and write down what you guys will do to get out of that role. You have identified your default role. What can you do to get out of the role? Once you have done that, probably you can discuss among your table the actions which you are going to take and then share with all of us. Is that okay? Are you guys clear? One minute to discuss what can you do to get out of that role, because you know now your default role and what it causes to you. You want to share mic?
Yeah, we had a couple of related things, and they both sort of involve stepping back a bit. One is recognising that, to start with, you're dealing not so much with the situation, but with your instant emotional reaction to it. So you need to be able to pause enough to actually recognise that you need to be responding to what's going on, not to how you feel about what's going on. And the second thing is, quite often there are situations where, if you look at the different people involved in the conflict, they would all have like different view on where they are in that triangle, and then you realise that there has to be something bigger going on. And again, you have to sort of step back and understand. Well, let's look at the situation, not how we're responding to the situation, and see there's just two different things.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else? Because time up, but I just want to take one more before we close it. Anybody wants to share?
Padma.
Yeah, Padma. Okay. Thank you.
I don't know if somebody else can raise that.
And no.
See, sometimes it's like it becomes a practice living in that role. You don't even want to get out. It starts feeling good to be in that role, especially victim role. It's nice. You start getting some attention, some sympathy and self-sympathy, self-pity. It starts feeling good about it. So maybe I'll also add that what can you do to create an awareness to get out of the role. Once that awareness comes that this is not a good spot to be in and I need to change, I think you will start finding answers. Each one of us will start finding answers. So that awareness somehow has to come in before we want to even get out of the role. Otherwise we are complacent and happy to be in that role.
Yeah, thanks. That's a valid point, being self-aware. I just want to close my session with this. So I'm a big fan of Michael Bunger's tenure, and I've read his book, The Coaching Habit. So he said 3 things. If you are in a victim role, just ask yourself, and what else? That's a very powerful question. When you start asking, and what else? I hope I'm audible, yeah. Then you start getting options, and you start thinking that how I'll solve my problem. So you become, from a victim, you become a problem solver for yourself. Now, when you are a rescuer role, obviously many a times what happens that we jump into solution mode and start rescuing people without understanding whether they need it. So ask, how can I help? And that kind of helps you in, that maybe the victim will come and ask you, yeah, I really need the help. No, I don't need a help. So that's a good question to ask. And if you are in a prosecutor role, just ask, what do I want? Because I always think that I am good, or but you are not good. So just ask yourself, what do I want? And that probably will give you an answer and help you in getting out of that role, and you become something else. So that is the key message which I wanted to share. Yeah, so, and these, anyways, I'm going to say the slides. These are some of the inspirations which I had taken, but mostly it was Coaching Habit from Michael Bunger's tenure, who I follow very religiously, and I just got whatever I've learned from him. I have to say that. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Lopa, for a nice session.
Thanks. Hope it was useful.